What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a certified personal trainer and I share all things health, fitness, and my lifestyle on here, on Instagram, and on TikTok, so make sure you're subscribed and follow along. In today's video, I'm gonna be comparing and reviewing my old Apple Watch Series 4, my old Garmin Venue 2S, and my current Garmin Venue 3S. I recently upgraded to this a few months ago just so I could stay up to date on what I was recommending to my followers. It's no secret that I am such a huge fan of Garmin. I feel like I'm always talking about my watch and so many people are always asking about it, but the Garmin Venue 2S is no longer available, so I needed to stay up to date. Also, before I start actually comparing all of these watches, I just wanna say, I'm not the most tech savvy person and I'm really not one to talk about technology, but I do feel so strongly about my current watch and I get so many questions about it. So I'm gonna try to explain and review these watches to the best of my ability and at least talk about them how I use them and from my own personal experience. So there's definitely gonna be little features that I don't even mention because I may not even know they exist, but I'm gonna be talking about all the features I love and use on a daily basis. All right, starting with my Apple Watch Series 4, I actually had an Apple Watch Series 2 first, but about a year or two after getting it, I upgraded to the Series 4. So I'm strictly speaking about my own personal experience with this particular version. I'm sure the newer versions are better and more updated since they're newer, but let's quickly run through some pros and cons that I experienced. Pros, I thought it was really cool that you could connect with others, like on the Apple Watch app. It also worked great when I first got it. It got its job done. It tracked my workouts, it told the time, tracked my steps, kept track of all like my rings, which are like the goals on Apple Watches. And then it was also really nice because I was working at F45 when I had this watch. And since it was Bluetooth to my phone, I could actually control the music and the volume right from my watch rather than carrying my phone around, which I really enjoyed. Now for the cons. There's honestly a lot, but I'm just gonna go over like my top 4. So for starters, this watch would be dead by lunchtime almost every single day. This didn't start at the very beginning. It was probably like 6 months into having this watch. It just started dying so incredibly fast. And keep in mind, I'm the type of person who hates notifications coming to my wrist. So for every smartwatch I've ever had, I keep all of the notifications turned off, and you would think that that would help with the battery life. Not this watch. Whether I worked out or didn't work out, it would be dead by lunchtime, which wasn't helpful considering I had more than half my day left. Also, it could never find my heart rate, like at all. It couldn't even put a number up on the screen. It was always just dashes. And on the rare occasion where it did put a number up on the screen for my heart rate, it never seemed accurate for what I was doing. Like I'd be in the middle of a HIIT workout and it would say 28. When has my heart rate ever been 28? Like it just clearly was not accurate in the slightest, but majority of the time it literally just showed dashes for heart rate. So of course that also threw off all the numbers within the workout tracking. So it almost made the workout tracking like pointless. And I'm also not a big fan of how this watch looks. Like I'm not a big fan of the square watch face. I know you can switch out the bands and get prettier bands. I never did that just because I was always working out and sweating in it, so the silicone like fitness band just seemed like the best fit for me, but just not a big fan of the square watch face. And then last but not least, I don't even think sleep tracking was a capability back then, but if it were, I wouldn't have even been able to do it since this watch was constantly on the charger. Fast forward to December of 2022 when I finally made the switch to Garmin and got the Garmin Venue 2S. Spoiler alert, I'm never going back to the Apple Watch. I was obviously super inclined to make the switch to Garmin because of all of the cons I experienced with my Apple Watch, but also because I had just bought my now husband a Garmin watch a few months earlier, and I learned all about his watch, saw how cool it was, learned all about the Garmin Connect app, and then a lot of our other guy friends got Garmin's, and I felt left out. I was envious of how cool all of their watches were and all of the things that their watches could track that mine couldn't. So I needed to switch to Garmin, and I am so freaking glad that I did because I instantly fell in love with this thing. Of course, there is a little bit of a learning curve going from an Apple product to a Garmin product, The Apple Watch is just like any other Apple product. Very user-friendly, very intuitive. The Garmin is still pretty darn user-friendly and pretty darn intuitive, but it is new since I was so used to Apple. But I got the hang of it super quickly, honestly, within a couple of days, and now it's just second nature and I'm obsessed. But one of the main things that sold me is that this watch has a 7 to 10 day battery life. That's unheard of. Like, that in and of itself sold me on the watch. Like, that's all I needed to know, and I was like, purchase. Also, it tracks workouts incredibly. So good at finding my heart rate, which was a huge plus coming from this watch. And then within the Garmin Connect app, which I kind of touched on earlier, there's just so much data that the watch keeps track of, and it's so cool to be able to look at it each day. You can also connect with any other Garmin users, so I'm connected to all of my other Garmin using friends, and you can set up like little challenges amongst your friends. But some of the things that it tracks are obviously your heart rate, all of your workouts that you do, your body battery, stress levels, intensity minutes throughout the week, your steps, calories burned, sleep score, respiration, your cycle, and so much more. Like, I'm not even beginning to scratch the surface on all that this watch tracks. It's just been incredible, and I honestly don't have a single con. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, I recently upgraded from the Garmin Venue 2S to the Garmin Venue 3S. Literally the exact same watch. This is just the latest, most updated version of the watch. And I mainly upgraded because I wanted to stay up to date, because I'm constantly getting questions about my watch. I'm constantly recommending my watch to followers, and I just wouldn't feel right recommending a watch that I haven't actually owned or tried out myself. And I don't think that the Garmin Venue 2S is available on the Garmin website anymore. I think you can find like refurbished ones on Amazon. I like to stay away from refurbished technology. So if you're on the Garmin website, I believe they only have the Garmin Venue 3S as an option. I'll link the exact one that I have down below in the description box just to make things easier. But I did get a very similar like style and design. They both have the gold like bezel around the watch face. This one has, I believe it's called sand for the silicone band. And then this one has the ivory silicone band. Both are stunning, absolutely beautiful. I love the circle watch face, and they honestly are just so impressive. Also, I completely forget if I mentioned this, but my Garmin Venue 2S watch still works perfectly. That's why I held on to it, because my puppy loves biting my watch. So in case she breaks my Garmin Venue 3S that's currently on my wrist, I always have my Garmin Venue 2S to go back to. Yes, I upgraded a little bit over a year after having this one, but it's not because there was anything wrong with this one. Like, it is still in perfect condition. I just needed to stay up to date for you all. So just like with the 2S, the 3S has the same 7 to 10 day battery life, and the battery charges super fast once you plug it in. That's something I get a lot of questions about. Typically, I'll just plug it in right after eating dinner on the day where it's like it's most dead, and then by the time I get in bed to go to sleep, it's fully charged. I pop it on my wrist, and then I can track my sleep all night. The sleep tracking is another one of those features that really had me sold and made me want to switch to Garmin. I think it is so freaking cool. I love waking up, looking at my sleep score, looking through my sleep stages. And then a new thing that I noticed on the Garmin Venue 3S is that it also incorporates a sleep coach, which basically is just a recommendation for how much sleep you should get that night based on everything it tracked from that day. So for example, if your day was super stressful, lots of physical activity, not very restful at all, it may suggest more sleep than your sleep goal. If your day was super restful, super chill, didn't do much, it may say you might not even need as much sleep. And speaking of the sleep goal, I set my sleep goal myself. You can either set your goals or have the Garmin watch set your goals for you based on an average of the previous 7 days. So with the Apple Watch, I believe you can set all of your own goals for steps, move, which is like exercise minutes, and then stand. With the Garmin, the main goals are steps, intensity minutes for the week, flights of stairs, and sleep. I think those are the 4. And like I said, I set my sleep goal, but I let the Garmin set the other 3 based on a 7-day average from the previous week. I think it's kind of cool that it's always fluctuating, always adjusting. And as far as the sleep goes, that's something I've really been working on since getting my Garmin, and my sleep has definitely improved since getting my Garmin. Like, I'm really trying to pay attention to it and get enough quality sleep in, because it really does impact the rest of my day. But if you're wondering about the goal setting situation, you can set them yourself, or the Garmin can set them. As far as workout tracking goes, there are so many different activities that you can add to your Garmin activity list for your watch to track. And you can actually pick and choose which activities are on your list. So when I first set up my Garmin, it shows you a huge list, like honestly, probably hundreds of activities that you can add to your watch. I just added like the 10 that I could see myself doing. So for example, my activities include walk, indoor walk, run, treadmill run, bike, pool swim. All of these watches are waterproof, might I add. Strength, HIIT, cardio, Pilates. And like I said, there are so many more I could add. Like, there are sports in there. The options are honestly endless. Like, I doubt there's something you could think of that isn't included in the activity list. So you can literally just pick and choose whatever you want on your watch, and you can always go back and like edit this list at any time. Another thing that I think is really cool about the Garmin's is the body battery tracking. It basically keeps track of how charged or drained your body battery is throughout the day. Things like super stressful situations or super intense workouts are obviously gonna drain your body battery. And then more restful things like chilling on the couch, taking a nap, sleeping through the night, those are gonna charge your body battery. And who knows how accurate this is, but comparing it to how I feel, it seems pretty darn accurate, especially in comparison to my training split. So for example, after my active recovery days and my rest days, my body battery is typically pretty darn charged and like ready to go. After my more intense days throughout my training split, where I lift and I incline walk and I walk, my body battery is pretty darn drained. So I just think it's cool to look at and compare it to how I'm feeling, because it kind of tells me a lot. All right, I'm sure there are so many details and features that I didn't even begin to mention, but if you want to see the watch in action, which I think is a little bit more helpful, head to the YouTube video that I link at the end of this YouTube video. I believe it's called Morning in My Life, featuring my Garmin smartwatch, or featuring my Garmin Venue 3S. I show myself tracking my workout on my watch, taking my morning walk, and I really talk about each of the features that I love and use on a daily basis, so be sure to check that video out. For those of you who are still watching, I've got a little surprise. The day this video goes up is actually my birthday, so for my birthday present to you guys, I am doing a little Garmin giveaway. One lucky winner is gonna win a Garmin Venue 3S color of choice. The giveaway is gonna be running for 48 hours. I will be choosing a winner Saturday, April 27th at 8 a.m. In order to enter, you need to make sure you are following me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then comment below on this video your favorite way to stay active. If you want a bonus entry, you can head to my Instagram. I posted a post announcing this giveaway at the exact same time this video went up. Comment your favorite way to stay active on that Instagram post, and then for a bonus entry, repost that Instagram post to your Instagram story. Technically, you can get 3 entries. Good luck. And with that being said, I am wrapping this video up here. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a like, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you all next time.